All right, welcome to the Kingdom of Pod, brought to you by Bet Online. Another one of these quick hitters. I wanted to talk about the transfer portal and the expanded playoff if it were in effect for the 2022 season. Let's look at the transfer portal. I think there was some curiosity or angst that Ashton Genty or Taylon Green could end up in the transfer portal. I'm sure there was fear around that. Boise State coaches aren't going to talk about that publicly, but I think they felt fairly confident that that didn't happen. And so far, it hasn't. I took a look at the portal, and specifically as it relates to Green, quarterbacks in the Pac-12 and in the West in general transfer quite a bit. It's a wide open brand of football. The defensive line and pass rush is not as vicious or consistent or as deep as it is in other parts of the country. So I think quarterbacks feel comfortable out here. There's a lot of quarterback guru coaches that exist out here. And I looked at the quarterbacks that are in the portal right now, of which there's a ton, and the Pac-12 takes a ton of them. And there's a lot of quarterbacks that have like 1 to 2 years to play. If you just look at the top 10 list on ESPN.com, you'll see that most of these quarterbacks have 1 to 2 years to play. There's maybe one or two that have more than that. Taylon Green has no public interest in entering this portal. I would think it's a testament to him. That he's living by his word. He's happy with what he's doing. He's great where he's at. He likes what he sees. And B, a testament to Boise State for not only, promising him things, but executing and fulfilling what they've promised to him. I did see an interesting name in the portal I wanted to mention. Nick Evers is a kid that I watched here in Flower Mound, Texas, where I live. Great quarterback. At one point was interested in Boise State. It came down to Florida and Boise State. He was going to head there. All of a sudden, there's a change at Oklahoma. Riley's out, and he ends up at Oklahoma. And now he's back in the portal looking to transfer somewhere. So he's got 4 years to go. So with Taylon, the age he's at, and I'm sure Evers knows him or they know each other, I wouldn't think that's likely. But there was at one point where I really felt that if Evers ever bounced back into the portal, that he was a possibility for Boise State. Now, the other issue that's pretty interesting is, what if we had this 12-team playoff in effect, not in a couple of years, but right now? And it makes me rethink this whole championship game and how necessary it is, because we saw that Boise State was hurt by having a championship game. Fresno State necessarily wasn't hurt. They won the Mountain West Championship. So we see that, other conferences, there's always complaints about attendance at these because they're sold at the group of 5 level, sort of, in the 2 weeks in between the regular season and the championship game, or the week before. And you have to resell everybody. Sometimes if you're talking about the Mountain West, the weather's pretty iffy in any Mountain Division school, which hosts those championship games. So that's less than desirable. And I can understand it. Is TV really paying that much money for it? I don't know. You'd have to ask the television networks. So if they took it away and dumped it, how would that change things? Well, it wouldn't matter this year if we had this 12-team playoff now, because the highest rated group of 5 champion, Tulane, who got in, was 16th rated. So, Boise State or anybody from the Mountain West didn't have a shot this year. There was nobody that even finished in the final top 25. So it didn't necessarily matter, but I can't help but notice that it didn't make, and it wouldn't make, a lot of those games pretty damn exciting in the Power 5 levels, where, all of a sudden Utah's not in the playoff picture, but they beat Southern Cal. They're the Pac-12 champ. Boom. They get in the college football playoff, as does Southern Cal, if and when it had expanded to 12 this particular season. So there's impact, there's excitement. All of a sudden you can get yourself into the playoff. But in the group of 5, it's a little trickier than that, because you have to be the highest rated group of 5. And then, you have to be, if you're going to be the second one in, and you're like, say the group of 5 champ is, I don't know, number 10 in the country, and you need to be higher than other folks to be considered to get one of those other 6 spots. And that may not be as easy as you think. I mean, Tulane finished 11-2. They were 16th rated at the end of the day. Troy was next, and they're 11-2. They're at number 24. So, by the way, the Troy and UT San Antonio game will come up on Friday. It's a week from today as I tape this. And it's interesting because it's the Sun Belt and Conference USA champ. I think it's a decent idea. It made me think, in a non-New Year's Day 6 bowl or playoff year, the Mountain West champ, if they don't make the college football playoff at 4 teams, of course they're not, at 12 teams, they wouldn't this year. How worth it is it to go down to Los Angeles and play the 7th best team out of the Pac-12, which that's what's going to happen in Washington State? Would they be better off if they had some system where the group of 5s got together and after the one school, Tulane, for example, in this particular instance from the AAC, went to the college football playoff, 12-team playoff, and then you take and you just seed out those other 4 group of 5 conferences, the highest rated ones. You have to use one of the power indexes and match them up. I think it's a great game between Troy and San Antonio. And it also propels them into a more realistic preseason pick for next year and gets the expectations, I think, more in line. This year, Fresno, instead of playing Washington State, could have played an independent team like Liberty or somebody like Toledo, which came out of the MAC as a champ. That's a little bit of a different argument, isn't it? For recruiting purposes, coaches would tell you that in Fresno State's case, it's better to go Los Angeles and beat Washington State because they go head-to-head in recruiting. At some point, don't we have to ask fans and what they think? I mean, if you ask the program, they may say, well, it'd be better if you defeated another group of 5 champion to solidify that the pecking order of group of 5 is in order and you're the superior conference. I don't know. It's at least interesting to look at and consider. And where has the Mountain West gotten by playing the 7th team out of the Pac-12? I mean, at what point will the LA Bowl say, this isn't in our best interest, we want to go to a bigger bowl game, sort of similar to what the Las Vegas Bowl did? All right, hope you enjoy this Kingdom Pod, an abbreviated edition. I'll try to pump out more of these and keep you occupied, at least before we get to the Frisco Bowl here in Texas. Thanks for watching.